contemptuously passed through the kitchen door and emerged on the step outside. But Simone opened the door and left it open behind her. "What was that?" she asked Nina. "Was it a bluebird?" "Don't be silly," Nina said. She picked up the pie plate and brought it toward them. Cecily's face was white and translucent. One hand went to her throat as the child approached. Brimful of crackling blue fire with a fluctuating heart of yellow, the pie plate came toward them, held between Nina's small, dusty hands. Nina grinned at them. "I stole it out of the wires," she said. Simone thought she would faint, with a mixture of joy and fear. "Put it back," she whispered. "Please put it back." "Oh, Mommy," Nina said, beginning to whine. "Not now. Not right away. I just got it. I've done it lots of times." The pie plate crackled and hissed in the steady, small hands. Simone could feel the old woman's shocked silence behind her. "You mustn't carry it in a pie plate. It's dangerous," Simone said to her child, but she could see Nina was in no danger. "How often have you done this?" She could feel her skirt and her hair billow with electricity. "Lots of times. You don't like it, do you?" She became teasing and roguish when she looked most like Sam. Suddenly she threw back her head and opened her mouth, and tilting up the pie plate, she drank it empty. Her reddish gold hair sprang out in crackling rays around her face. Her eyes flashed, and sparks flew out between her teeth before she closed her mouth. "Nina!" the old woman cried, and began to crumple, falling slowly against Simone in a complete faint. Simone caught her in trembling hands and lowered her gently. She said to her daughter, "You mustn't do that in front of Grandy. You're a bad girl. You knew it would scare her." And to herself she said, "I must stop babbling. The child knows I'm being silly. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it awful? Oh, Sam, how I love you." "Daddy said it would scare you," Nina admitted. "That's why I never showed you before." Her hair was softly falling into place again, and she was gazing curiously at her great-grandmother lying on the doorstep. "It did scare me," Simone said. "I'm not used to it, darling, but don't keep it a secret any more." "Is Grandy asleep?" Simone said hastily. "Oh, yes, she's taking a nap. She is old, you know, and likes to take naps." "That's not a nap," Nina said, leaning over and patting the old woman's cheek. "I think she's having a bad dream." Simone carried her grandmother into the house. If that old, tired heart had jumped and floundered like her own, there must be some damage done to it. If anything happened to her grandmother, the world would end, Simone thought, and was furious with Nina, and at the same time full of joy for her. Cecily Putnam opened her eyes widely, and Simone said, "It does change, you see, but it's in the family after all." The old woman sat upright quickly. "That wicked child!" she exclaimed. "To come and frighten us like that. She ought to be spanked." She got up with great strength and rushed out to the garden. "Nina!" she called imperiously. The child picked up one of the small stones from the pie plate now full of spring water, and came to her great-grandmother. "I'll make something for you, Grandy," she said seriously. She put the stone in the palm of her hand and breathed on it, and then held out her hand and offered the diamond. "It's lovely. Thank you," the old woman said with dignity, and put her hand on the child's head. "Let's go for a walk, and I'll show you how to grow rose apples. That's more becoming to a young lady." "You slept on the step." "Ah, I'm old, and I like to take little naps," Cecily answered. Simone saw them disappear among the apple rose trees side by side. She was still trembling, but gradually, as she passed her hand back and forth, and the dust followed, moving in a sparkling river toward the trash basket. Simone stopped trembling and began to smile with the natural pride of a Putnam woman. End of The Putnam Tradition by Sonia Dorman.